Hello and welcome everyone! Today we're going to unbox an acrylic marker set. I got this for my birthday recently. Big thank you to those who gifted it to me. And this is not a sponsored video. I'm not really about rating this or anything. I personally don't know the brand and I decided to go blindly into this video. I just wanted to show you my reaction to this, my first impressions of using them, and let's see together how they look on paper. I was super excited when I got them because I really love using acrylic markers in my sketchbook. But yeah, I didn't really have many colors yet because I usually use the Posca pens, which are pretty expensive. I'm super hyped about having 30 colors now to use, which is super great. You can have a look at them here already, so many colors. I'm super excited to use them and try them. And one more thing that I'm super excited about, a water-based and brush tip. As soon as something has a brush tip, that already catches me because I really love brush tips. As soon as a pen has a brush tip, I'm like, oh yeah, that's already better. Also, when I had the Copic pens back then, I always preferred the brush tip version. I guess that might be personal taste, but for me it always elevates the pen. It gives a possibility to actually blend out the colors and combine them together. In my opinion, it always made the pen more versatile and gave me more options. So that's something I'm super happy about. And the acrylic markers I have so far don't have brush tips, so super excited to try this out. So these are the acrylic markers that I had so far. These are the Posca markers, which have such a tip, basically. Yeah, you can see they're already pretty used. At first, I only had these 3 colors, and recently I also expanded them with these 2. But you can see I was relatively limited in the colors. But yeah, I tried to be creative with those at hand because they're pretty expensive. So let's have a look at the pieces that I already made with acrylic markers before we get started with the new ones. For example, in this piece, I used my acrylic markers. I think it's the first piece in my sketchbook where I used them. Also here, you can see the same 3 colors. At this point, I bought these 2. I only had these 2 available at the time and just some white paper, which you can see I cut out and pasted in here. I think I used some here, but not that much. This piece and this piece. So let's open the box. Let's see what's inside. Oh, we also have some stickers, I think, so we can paste them on. I'm not really sure where we're getting stickers. Maybe we can also stick those to paper and then have a test wash of the color next to them. The pens actually don't have the numbers on them, so maybe it's for the pens. So let's have a look at the colors. These are the first colors and they're already looking very nice. I see some nice pastels here. Also a white acrylic pen, which is something I don't have but might come very in handy. Also, I love this purple, by the way. We have more colors here, so these are basically all the colors. I think it's a bit weird that they wouldn't have the numbers on the pens themselves. For every other pen I know they usually do that, so you'd have to manually glue them on. It's not too bad. I'm just curious, do the Posca pens have it? Well, yeah, they do. They do. The time has come. This is what the tip looks like. I already like it a lot. So let's see what the color is like. Ooh, I like it. It feels really nice. Let's see a few more colors. And I love how you can change the thickness very easily. I wonder how well they blend together. Since I have the tip, I don't think they will blend that well, just because it's acrylic. Maybe a little bit. You can blend a little bit, I guess. But I think it's really mainly to play with the pen pressure more. So you can go into thin areas, but also to thick areas. And that is something I don't have that much with the Posca pens. Let's compare them. This is the new one, the Arrtx. I like it, how opaque they are. And now let's try one of the Poscas. You can see there's really no variance in how light or strong I press onto the paper. It's the same thickness, and that's something I really like about the Arrtx. Let's try with these maybe. This is the Arrtx. Ooh, that's a really rich color. Now we have the Posca pen. What really annoys me about the acrylic markers is that I have the feeling that the tips wear out really easily. I don't know if maybe I'm doing something wrong. If you have tips, let me know in the comments, but like the nib tends to wear out really easily. It seems like it gets stuck with paper, or like it kind of clogs. I don't know. And at some point it gets hard to get out the color. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to use them right. So I'm excited to see how those perform in the long run, because that's something I noticed with the Poscas, and I've heard friends tell me stuff like that about their other acrylic brand markers too. So maybe it's just a general thing about them, I'm not sure. Maybe it's also a thing about the paper you're using. Let's compare also these two. This is the Arrtx. It's hard to get a consistent thickness with them, but that's okay. This is the Posca. Yeah, you can, well, it's already pretty empty, so not a good comparison. Yeah, and you can see this is something that disturbs me, is when it already roughens up the paper like that. I don't know if maybe I'm doing something wrong. So, general first impression, I really like the feeling of the new pens, and I really like that you can do different thicknesses. If your goal is to really go with a consistent thickness, then of course you're going to have it easier with the Posca-like tip, or there are other markers that have that tip too. But I personally like the opportunity to go with different thicknesses. So far, I'm also pretty happy with the opaqueness and how the color looks. I really like the variety of colors. Let's see how the paper reacts if we do a lot of color on one place. That's usually the situation where I see that the color and the paper don't react that well together. Okay, so first impression is really great. Also, the color looks really rich and opaque. I love that. Of course, it's something I need to test in the long run first. Something I noticed right now is that this tip, for some reason, feels a bit differently than the tip of the other pens. I can't really explain why. It feels a bit stiffer. I think it even looks a bit different. Do you see it? They look a bit different, and it also feels a bit different, but it's only this one so far. I don't know. That's a bit inconsistent. So this time we're switching to my real sketchbook, which has a bit of a different paper also. Let's see how it goes. So that's it. I really had fun using them. It's so much fun to have that many colors available. This is a very simple piece, but yeah, I think I tried to test most of the stuff within this piece. You can see how I really tried to color in large, broad shapes. Here you can see how the paper and the colors reacted together. I can also zoom in a bit if that helps you. I think it was pretty opaque. At times, I would notice that there were some parts where you would still see the pencil lines or also the ink lines, so they didn't really fully cover that. I don't think that is a standard. You can't really hold them up to, like, even the Posca markers will not always totally cover everything, and just going over a second time will help. I did especially notice it with the lighter colors though. So when I made those little leaves, I would notice I tried to cover it like 3 or 4 times, but you would still see the pencil lines. So you especially notice it with the lighter colors. I tried to test going with lighter colors over already laid down darker colors, like here, lighter colors on the purple, and I think that worked pretty okay. I did go over multiple times so you can see how the difference is. So here I used this one to go over the purple. I like how it turned out. It could be more opaque maybe, but I really liked it, and I felt like it didn't destroy the paper too much to like go over multiple times, which I really liked. And it really came in handy to have those brush tips, because when I colored in larger pieces, I could just really press down and use the whole tip, and then I would cover more at the same time. And that is something that was really, a bit annoying with, like, for instance, those small tips with the Posca pens. So there, it's really nice to have when you have those larger tips where you can say, okay, I want to go smaller, I want to go broader. That's really practical. I also tested some blending with the red and the green and the orange. I really like the effect. That is something that I wouldn't get like this with the normal tips with the Posca markers, for instance. So that's something I really had fun with. You can see it here on the lids, for instance. It's not a smooth transition, but that is something that you can hardly get with acrylic pens, in my opinion. But I really like the effect I got here to like try to blend a little bit. One thing I did notice though was they don't really have a orange. I really like the combination of purple and orange. That's why I noticed. I was just surprised because of so many colors, and they have like this beige skin color, but not really an orange. That's just something I was surprised about. It. That's not bad or anything, I just noticed that. What I really wanted to test too was the white acrylic marker, because I didn't really have one of those before, and I'm really happy with the result. It's nice for the last final touches. That's really nice to have. So I like how this turned out. I'm definitely gonna use these pens more when I sketch. They're super fun to have, and I personally would recommend them. Let me know in the comments what you think. A big thank you again to my friends for this gift, and see you soon everyone. Bye!